Welcome back, everyone. Oh, he caught you just as you ashed on your Stogie Geek shirt. Awesome.
That's the most exciting thing.
Welcome back to the Stogie Geek Show. This segment is brought to you by Debonair Cigars, StogieGeeks.com/Debonair. Find out all your retailers to carry Debonair cigars, especially one of the ones that I smoked this week, which is just awesome, which you'll hear about in a bit. But first, before I get to that, I want to talk about our cigar and beer pairings. I'll start first with Mr. Stogie Santa.
Is that crickets? No. Okay. It started off.
All right, hold on. So you
we
were
go.
smoking a CAO Brasilia, which is a 5x56 Brazilian wrapper, Nicaraguan binder, and fillers. You paired that with a Gonzo Imperial Porter, which I'm told is both big and bold. The bitter coffee and chocolate flavors in the CAO Brasilia are mimicked by the same robust notes in the Gonzo.
Okay.
What is your assessment, Stogie Santa?
The beer by itself wouldn't be that bad. It really wouldn't. But pairing these two, in the beginning, the first mouthful or so, nice. I got a creaminess off that also. I got a creamy, nice malty taste to it. With the first half inch of the cigar wasn't too bad. Had a little salty component going on. Then that bitterness took over, and it crushed my palate. It just, in the beginning, like I said, that creamy, nutty saltiness in the front part was nice. The cigar, it is what it is. I wasn't overly fond of it. And then as the beer, the finishing or the back of my tongue was just getting too bitter, and it was just fighting with the cigar.
Yeah, a bitterness component to the beer.
It just destroyed it.
And that's interesting to have it in a porter. Well, and it's an imperial porter, which imperial stouts and imperial porters tend to have that bitterness component.
I know that, and then I got a salty molasses taste, and it was just all over the place. So
too much for your palate.
It's not too much for my palate.
It just did not complimentary.
It was thrown off the ship.
Throw it off the ship.
Yeah.
Mark
absolutely.
Jr., over to you.
Well, so my cigar was a CAO Osa Soul.
Yeah, Osa Soul with the Snake Dog IPA. So your Osa Soul was a 5x50, and it's a Olancho San Agustin wrapper, Connecticut broadleaf binder, Honduran and Nicaraguan fillers. Your Snake Dog IPA, I'm told, is a zesty spice of the Osa Soul meets its match with the citrus and resinous hop aromas and flavors of the Snake Dog. Mark Jr., your thoughts?
The cigar exceeded my expectations. I think it's a pretty tasty cigar. But I'm having difficulty, like, really pinpointing any flavors on this because this IPA is, like, literally it's a good IPA, but it's a horrible pairing for this cigar.
Exactly. Yeah,
I've heard and I'm not an expert on IPAs, but I was talking to, I believe it was Seth from Seth's Humidor, and I think he was telling me that IPAs is something that he has heard many people say it's not recommended for pairings.
No.
Would you guys agree with that?
Oh, absolutely.
Without exception,
I would agree with that until I had this Belgian-style IPA with this CAO Gold. And the CAO Gold Robusto is a 5x50. It's an Ecuadorian Connecticut wrapper with Nicaraguan binder and filler. The Raging Bitch Belgian-style IPA, wildly complex hoppy bitterness and fruity sweet Belgian yeast notes in the Raging Bitch are soothed by the CAO Gold's caramel sweetness. I would agree with that assessment. I think that the fruitiness components coupled with that caramel kind of sweetness in the cigar are perfectly balanced. The IPA is not too hoppy as that bitterness does not overwhelm your palate. It really picks out the flavors in the cigar, and the cigar really picks out the flavors in the beer. I think it's a perfect pairing. I'm saying box-worthy for the cigar and case-worthy for the beer. I would do this pairing all day long. I think if I had the cigar by itself, it would probably be a 5er, most definitely. I might have it in the morning with coffee occasionally. But paired with this beer, and I spoke a lot of Connecticut's, paired with this beer, I'm telling you, it was a fantastic experience.
Like
it really was.
You separate the cigar from the beer.
Yeah,
it's fine. Like I said, the creaminess off this, but then when it's south, it's just not.
I think if you separated my beer and my cigar, they're kind of like average. Like it might be a 6-pack for the beer and a 5 for the cigar.
That's good. That's good
but
pairing.
Yeah, complementary together. I really thought it worked. And I tell you what, I've had a lot of pairings with beer with cigars that have just gone completely south, and this was not the case.
No,
that in the Belgian style IPA, the Raging Bitch you have over there, is like one of my favorite summer beers, dude.
Oh, I totally get that, man. Yeah, it's a fantastic beer.
And you know, I could see how it would pair better than this Snake Dog IPA.
Yeah,
the Snake Dog IPA is heavy on the hops, man.
Yeah,
and this the Gonzo. The Gonzo though. I talk about a complex beer. Really had a lot going on with it.
Plus, this beer is 7.1% alcohol, so that's gonna, you know, sort of make it. I don't know. High alcohol beer has a certain
limitation.
Yeah, yours was 9.2, Stogie Santa.
Yeah. So Flying Dog's sort of famous for that, right?
Yeah, mine's 8.3.
Yeah. Okay, Mr. Coop, here we go.
Mr. Coop, you were smoking the CAO MX2 Robusto 5x52. It has a Connecticut broadleaf wrapper, Brazilian binder, Nicaraguan, Honduran, Dominican, and Peruvian fillers in that cigar. And you were drinking the Pearl Necklace Oyster Stout. Dark and Dry is the name of this pairing scheme with the MX2. Rich notes of earth and Pearl Necklace's dry, roast, and slightly bitter character. Will, what is your assessment?
So I picked this one for a couple of reasons, and I had first dibs because I had the original package. So I picked this one for a couple of reasons. One is I admit I do like the MX2 a lot, and I admit I don't drink a lot of bitter ales. So I wanted to kind of see how this went. I think the assessment that the pairing assessment they give is pretty close to accurate in terms of the rich notes of the earth. They definitely are paired up with this bitter character of the beer. They said there's a bitterness scale, and this was given a 35, which is probably, and I think it goes to 100, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong on that.
We'll trust
35 is probably about what I can handle. I don't think I can go much further. I actually felt it worked. Now, would this be something that I'm going to run and do each and every time? No, I don't think this enhanced my experience of the MX2 one bit, nor do I think it enhanced what I was drinking with the Oyster Stout, but I could see a fit for this. I could definitely see a fit for this. I would say I'd put for the cigar, it's a box split. I've smoked the MX2 for a long time, and I've always liked it. I'd say for the Oyster Stout, try a bottle and see what you think, because I don't think this is for everybody. Unless you're a serious beer geek, but it just wasn't something from left field. I could see how these go together.
Okay, well, so I guess 50% is not a bad average. It's
cool.
Yeah, real cool.
All righty, Mr. Mark Jr., over to you for your Stogies of the week.
The first thing I did was a redo on the Cro-Mag Anthropology from Romacraft. They had been out of the shop for a little while, so I decided to go back and grab one since they came back. And just as a refresher, it's 5 3/4 by 46, Corona Gorda, wrappers, Connecticut Broadleaf Maduro, Cameroon binder, and filler Nicaraguan. I was sort of going to leave this one out because it was a redo, but I figured since the subject of the show, I ought to talk to, the later segment with the Cameroon wrapper, I thought I'd talk about it. But this cigar is really unique. It has that, very unique flavors that stick out both from the Cameroon and from the Connecticut Maduro. So that chocolatey richness from the Maduro with the spicy, that sort of velvety spice that comes from a Cameroon, really produces a weird, a very unique flavor with the cigar. It is by far and away my favorite size in the Anthropology line, and I think it's box worthy without hesitation. I know Stogie Santa's a fan of the cigar as well.
I'll come over to me. It was funny. I got the blockhead in the Cro-Magnum blend, and it was funny you said that. I had that in my mind. This particular box press, it did very well. I found that it enhanced more of a sweetness from the Cameroon, from using that. This cigar was really, really good. I enjoyed it. The coffee sweetness is off this. Was very good, and a touch of chocolatey off it. What I got off that was more of an earthy flavor from this box press than most of the line of Cro-Magnon, but still. Get back to what you're saying. It's this Cro-Magnon on the Anthropology is the belle of the ball on the Cro-Magnon. For me, I like this. I thought the Cro-Magnon Blockhead was a great cigar. Another great showing from Skip as usual. But the Cro-Magnon, it's funny you said that. I've been smoking those things since they've been coming in the shop. Luckily, we got them back in again. But the Cro-Magnon and on the box press. What was your? Did we ever do any kind of reviews on this? Anyone else on the show?
No, I've never tried it.
It was good. It really.
Blockhead?
On the Blockhead on the Cro-Magnon.
Love it.
Yeah.
I think, I'll be honest, my first experience with the Cro-Magnon was the Cranium. Mm-hmm. And I was sour on the line because that was the first one I had. Mm-hmm. Then I started smoking some of the other Vitolas, and I kind of now begun to come around. But when he box pressed that Cranium,
isn't it something?
It's very different. Now, I would probably put the Anthropology, the Mode 5, and the Blockhead in the Cro-Magnon line in my top 3. Mm-hmm. Those would be my top 3.
Off that box press, did you get that unique sweetness more so than any other size in that Vitola?
Absolutely.
It was just really
and especially
neat.
when you compare it back to the Cranium.
Right, exactly. The Cranium was funny. It was a great point. I smoked it. It was a good cigar, but I wasn't overwhelmed with it. And then, like Mark Jr. said, when we came in, we did both the Accutane, which is my favorite blend in that. But on this particular Vitola, the Anthropology is that as Mark's saying is the belle of the ball. Then I would go with the Cro-Magnon Blockhead in the Cro-Magnon line. Of course, my Mode 5 is
I smoked
my
one
baby.
Earlier today. Oh my God!
I got 5.
I got that one queued up for next.
Yeah, I honestly got. We got 5 boxes in last. I'm going. It's going.
Yeah,
it just can't. It just can't. Anyway, get back to what we were saying. I waited for this for a while, and I'm glad that I got it in, and it's really unique, and it's really that sweetness is so prevalent, so nice. That what he does with that Cameroon, it's just like Mark was saying, such a unique balance of flavor. It really is something really good. And it's not like all your Connecticut broadleaf, though, right? You know what I mean? Isn't it different?
Absolutely.
It's just so different. It's not your run-of-the-mill Connecticut broadleaf. It's really unique.
You know, it's funny, when I went on the Drew Estate Cigar Safari, I decided I was going to blend a Connecticut broadleaf with Cameron binder. And I put my own filler in it. So it ain't that easy. You still got to get those fillers right.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about some of those Cameroon binder cigars.
Absolutely,
in the next
absolutely.
Yeah.
Will, over to you.
All right, I'm going to start off with the Aroa CBT Maduro. So I think if folks have listened to the show, I think we all agree that the first Aroa by CLE Cigars, the Honduran Puro, I think most of us were very high on that cigar last year.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes. So I was really curious to try the Maduro. The interesting thing about the Maduro, it's a triple Maduro. CBT stands for Capa Banda Tripa, which is wrapper binder filler. Mm-hmm. It's an all Maduro cigar. He doesn't disclose the specific origins of the leaf, but it's in the same sizes as the Aroa. It's a 5x50. Overall, I'll say this: it was a good cigar. It had some great Maduro flavors. It had a mocha flavor to it that kind of eventually became more earthy as the cigar went on. There was kind of a constant level of pepper throughout this cigar. I thought strength and body-wise, it was similar to the Aroa Natural, which it was medium to full strength, full-bodied. It was a good cigar, but I felt it fell short when compared to the Aroa, which I think is a special cigar. I think the Maduro lacked some complexity. I think it was more consistent throughout. Not that it had bad flavors, but what I loved is a lot of that. The Aroa had a lot more depth and twists and turns to the flavors. I'd still give this cigar a box split because it's still a very, very good cigar. But if I'm going to reach for one or the other, I'm going to go for the natural.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I remember you smoked it, Paul. What was your thoughts?
Yeah, I was really high on the Maduro as well. I thought, I guess I would prefer the natural slightly better to the Maduro, but I thought the Maduro was a really, really good offering.
Maybe maybe it was my fascination with what that Honduran Puro did. It could have been that, but like I said, I found that one very impressive. I'm going to give this line some. I'll be fair. I've only smoked the Robusto in this line, so I want to give some of the other sizes a whirl down the road as well.
Yeah.
I really like the natural, and I agree with your assessment, Coop, that the natural's better, but that this one is a good cigar. I smoked the sample Stogie Santa gave me as well, but the specifically the natural really turned my head to what a Honduran Puro can be. I was always distracted when smoking Honduran Puros with the dryness of it.
Absolutely.
And that didn't have that at all.
Exactly.
Which was really cool to me because I got to enjoy the Honduran flavors of the tobacco, without that dryness. So I really think that's a good cigar.
Yeah, what did you think of the last third of that cigar on the Maduro?
Not as good as the first 2/3.
I
thought it lost a little bit of sweetness. It kind of got a little more bland.
Yeah. It just like it wasn't even the same cigar. It just fell off.
That's a good point.
I just was like, wow, what happened? What happened? I don't know. Maybe it was. And again, I don't want to go too far. I only smoked one of them, and I got to go back and revisit it. And you don't want to go too much into one cigar, overboard or
that
underboard.
That could change over time.
But it wasn't hard. In my opinion, it wasn't horrible at the end. But it wasn't what it was. Or what that cigar was delivering early on. It had a lot of promise.
I thought it was going to be much better than what it was. But anyway.
So I smoked a La Polina Mr. Sam. This is the 2014 release. And so help me out here, guys. The Mr. Sam, is that this year's release? Because was there a previous Mr. Sam, or did I smoke something different previously on the show?
The question is, we may not know from your picture. Right. So last year, the Mr. Sam was released in a short Robusto.
Right.
And
it was a thicker ring gauge, though.
It was it was like a 4.5 by 50, I want to say. This year, and it was supposed to be a limited release one-time run. They made a decision to make it a core line, which I kind of give them, they went from limited to core. At least they're not saying it's still limited. And they added 2 other Vitolas to the short Robusto, which is the Corona and the Toro.
Right. So
the short Robusto was in both batches.
Okay.
If I know when I was over at Havana Cigar Club, I got a Mr. Sam from the 2013 when I was up there. So I know they had those. I'm not sure where you ended up getting it or how long you've had it for.
Yeah. So the Mr. Sam I smoked previously on the show had a lot of floral notes. This one did not. Maybe I'm thinking of a different La Polina. But see, I don't think I put it in the Stogies feed. In any case, this did not have the floral notes. It did have some good sweetness, a little bit of spice. In the end, I would call this a try one. I wasn't overwhelmed by this cigar. I think there's some other La Polinas that I definitely like much better. The Goldie, for example. And that other one that I had with the floral notes in it was really good. I don't know which one that was. Maybe that wasn't a Mr. Sam.
It might have been the El Diario.
Could have been. In any case, this is the La Polina Mr. Sam. It's in the short Robusto format. It was released in 2014. I picked up Mr. J. Savant Smoke Shop. As they just came in not too long ago, right? This was kind of still up on the counter. I would call this one a try one. You might like the flavors in this one. Again, a little bit of spice, a little bit of sweetness. Nothing to write home about, in my opinion. So, Mark Jr., back to you, or Stogie Santa.
Back to me. I went on a little Cuban kick. I went with a Monte Cristo No. 4. I remember way back when, maybe a year ago or so. Mark Jr. gifted me one with about a gazillion years of age on it. And that thing just melted me. Oh, talk about the ultimate wet spot. It was phenomenal. So he got me to buy a box. He twisted my hand, and I did that. The dry draw on this was what a sweetness and earthy taste. It was like I was smoking the cigar just by dry drawing the cigar. What I really found with this cigar more so than most Montes, was the creaminess in the beginning of this cigar, for me anyway. But this I really enjoyed this Vitola in this particular size. It had nice earthy flavors to it, and then the second pot, I love the spice, how it comes up and marries with a little coffee flavor. And the balance of the cigar is really, really, really good. I call it box worthy all day long. The only thing I found so far with this cigar on this particular Vitola is the construction on this cigar. The one I had with Mark Jr. was flawless. Of course, I get a box. I smoked 10 of them, and about 2
Paul
of them,
syndrome.
Yeah, 2 of them were completely plugged, and another one was, I had to touch it up. It didn't bother me that much. But, Mark, have you had that kind of issues with the 4?
No.
No? I must leave it up to me. I must have bought it where Paul got his. I don't know.
No, it might be a tough year.
Yeah.
I mean, for that certain.
Oh, the one you gave me, Mark, was mesmerizing. That thing was incredibly.
Yeah, those were kick-ass. They're
weren't
gone
they?
now, but those were kick-ass.
Weren't they?
Yeah.
And like I said, that the spice level on it was perfect for somebody that doesn't like it over the top. It was this perfectly balanced. I really, really enjoy this cigar. And what I'm going to do with the other half a box is, well, I'll try to age it, see what happens. Just buy another one and smoke the rest.
There you go. Mark Jr., back to you.
I smoked the Illusione Gigante. It's a 6.5 by 56 Toro with the San Andreas wrapper, Nicaraguan double binder, the Criollo 98 and Corojo 99, and the Arganosa Nicaraguan filler. This is sort of a follow-up to the Rothschild without being a different, without being the same blend. But it's, they come in the caps at 50 in the same way. They're very reasonably priced. $7.50 for a cigar this size, I think, is pretty reasonable for the quality of the cigar. I got some nice spice and dark chocolate flavors, a little bit of woodiness in the background. The dry draw had some barnyard, and when I was smoking it, I got that a lot too from, the room aroma, as Paul likes to say. All in all, I thought this was definitely a fiber, mostly because it's, not, it's a little thicker than I like to smoke a cigar, 56. But, all in all, if you like the Rothschild and you thought maybe an amped up version of it would be good, and that size is appealing to you, I could very well see it being, box worthy if it was like a 20 count box,
Right. I agree with that.
I would assume you've had a few of these, right?
Yeah.
Right, Stogies?
Oh, yeah. I agree with that assessment. I've heard some up and downs on it. I don't understand it. I just think it's a solid fiber, and it could be easily a box split of 50. I really do. And the whole thing is, this doesn't make any sense, but I got to say it. It didn't smoke like a big cigar.
No,
Does that make any sense?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not a 50. Like Mark said, the 56. It didn't
Gets
really
too close
bother.
to 60, yeah.
Yeah.
But in some cigars, you're right.
It didn't tone down the flavor.
No.
Is that what you mean by it didn't smoke
Right.
like a big
Exactly.
cigar?
Exactly. You get the 56, 58, 60. I hate to use the word muted, but you don't get the flavors you do in a smaller Vitola.
No, I think it's an accurate word for
Yeah,
that.
it is. It really delivered that size. I think maybe I could. I don't even know what Dion, if that was his purpose to put that kind. It was blended just for that size. It performed very well.
Nice.
I liked it. Coop, did you try that yet?
I have not tried that yet.
Okay.
I haven't either.
Okay.
They have not been anywhere in my area to be found.
Okay.
I know that they were, and I talked to the rep, and I know that they've just been back ordered.
I'll send the fiver down.
Oh, nice. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Will, back to you.
I smoked the Crowned Heads Angels Anvil TAA 2014. So this was Crowned Heads release into the 2014 TAA series. It's the cigars that go to the TAA retailers, which is about 75 of them nationwide. It's a Ecuadorian Havana wrapper over binder Nicaraguan and filler Nicaraguan. It comes in one size. It's a Churchill. It's a 7.5 by 49. So it's a long cigar, slightly thin, I'd say. Of all the stuff that Crown Heads has released this year, and they've done a lot, right now this is the only one, the only new thing I believe to come out of Ernesto Perez Carrillo's factory. The cigar delivered notes of toast, natural tobacco. I wrote toasted cedar nut. I meant toast and cedar nut. Floral and pepper notes. So there was some different flavors. I got some different nuances. The flavors, I guess, meshed okay together. It just didn't have me doing handstands, this cigar. There was no wow factor with this cigar whatsoever. I found it to be, mostly medium strength. It started out medium bodied. Flavors did pick up, get a little more depth with medium to full. Excellent construction. I can't complain about that. Overall, I've smoked the 7 TAA sticks that came out this year. I've smoked 5 of the 7. I haven't smoked the Padron, and Pete's cigar hasn't been released yet, so that's the other. I've been really disappointed with as a whole with this year's TAA releases. They've just had no. I mean, usually there's some real good cigars you get out of them, and right now I haven't had one that's box worthy yet. The My Father was probably the closest one. I gave this one a try one. I think if you like 4 kicks, you'll probably like this. But I just didn't see a lot of wow. It just didn't have me doing handstands like I would expect from a TAA stick.
I did the J. Grotto Silk Lancero, and this is in fact a limited production. Is that no? It's a regular production. I put limit in there. It is a regular production.
It's going to be a regular production.
So what is the blend on this one?
It's the same as a regular silk.
Same as which is
Ecuadorian Habano, the wrapper, Connecticut. Yeah, Ecuador. I got. Well, we got a double bind.
We need some booze over
I know
here.
it. I'm all dried up here.
Yeah, no. We have it's the Ecuadorian Connecticut wrapper.
Right. It's got an Indonesian binder.
Criollo 98 and Indonesian, and the filler from Honduras and Nicaragua.
Right.
And the Lancero is a 7x38.
7x38.
7x38 with a pigtail cap.
It's a nice looking Connecticut. It was matter of fact, we're sold out. How's that? So
really?
Yeah.
I think enjoyed it myself.
Yeah, the whole bottom line, I think by design it worked out well because in the beginning, like I was telling Paul, there's not a lot of Connecticut Lanceros out there. So develop the core line first, then come out with this. This way here instead of the other way around, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
You throw that out in the beginning. I don't think it would have got as much as call on it as it is now. But anyway, go ahead.
I tell you what, I love the size, and the burn and drawn construction were awesome. And the spice up front really lets you know it's there. Like right out of the gate, it lets you know it's there. And it's kind of nice when you have this first thing in the morning, that little bit of spice kind of wakes up your senses, kind of wakes you up a little bit.
Yeah, you pick it up. It's a great point you say that in the morning. You get that. You do that mid-afternoon, and I don't know, maybe because I've had a cigar or something, I don't pick that up.
Right. The spice subsides, and you're presented with a nice flavor profile, some cedar, some earth, hints of sweetness. Overall, a great blend, and I think the perfect morning smoke to have with coffee. We're going to do a whole show, and we're going to do a morning coffee show with with this cigar. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully, you get more in.
Yeah, that's coming. That's in the making.
Yeah. It does. So this was
35.
Great smoke. I'm calling it box worthy. They come in boxes of 10.
Oh,
they're $8 a stick. It's hands down a box worthy purchase. If you're looking for something to work into your morning smoking routine, I think it's great. I tell you what, though, pairing in Connecticut with this Belgian-style IPA, I think they're onto something there. I think the Connecticut blends go really well with this Belgian style.
So it's not super hopped out is what you're saying?
It's not. No, I was worried about that, and it doesn't.
So I guess, it goes to show you, if you get the right IPA, there is a pairing.
I completely agree with that.
And before we go any farther, I want to call out one of our listeners who sent me a Unbanded, and I forgot the other one was a CAO. What was that funky shape?
The Left Coast.
The Left Coast, right. Don Knott, if you're listening, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Well, and we'll smoke that on next week's show for sure. Thanks again.
So you can put your pre-orders in for the J. Grotto Lancero.
Yeah.
You can call the store 401-822-0536. Put your orders in for that. You should buy a box is my recommendation.
And we'll have a picture of the Stogie Greeks crew. How's that?
That's right. We'll send you a
right
picture.
on the box.
Right on the box.
Yeah.
I gotta get some booze.
I tell you, Lancero in Connecticut,
Pick
and
something
it
good.
didn't have me very excited. That's a very, very good cigar.
Isn't it?
It really is, yeah. And I like the Silk line, but I just wasn't sure about a Lancero in it.
Well, that's
a
why I
very
said
good
I was
cigar.
It's a very
really,
good cigar.
I was really, I was apprehensive about it in the beginning, but as the Vitolas kept developing and got better and better, and it was, again, one of Paul's loyal customers called for
Turd
it.
Ferguson.
Turd Ferguson. Oh, look at this gentleman. Here we go.
Let's do it.
Oh, yeah. I'm telling you now. I'm talking.
Now it's a show.
Oh,
now
here we go.
got some red breast
Red
going
breast.
on.
All I need is naked breast, and we'll be all set. Oh, yeah.
Mark
I
Jr.
fired up the Yamazaki 12-year.
Yeah. Oh,
Nice.
tell him the good news, Mark. Did you tell Mr. Arzadorian the good news about that?
I found some
Yes.
at a local shop.
Look at this. I'm so nervous. Where's the red breast? It's right in front of my nose. Wow.
You're gonna have to rip the thing. Yeah, you're gonna. Mark Jr. Over to you.
All right. I smoked the AJ Fernandez New World
Oh, yes.
Toro,
baby.
which is
Yes.
called the Gobernador.
Yeah. I couldn't pronounce that name.
I don't know if I pronounced it right either,
I
but
got
I'm
too
going
much
with
ice. That's okay.
it. It's a 6.5 by 55 box press Toro. It's a Nicaraguan Puro, but he did specify what it is. So it's a dark Nicaraguan wrapper, jalapa binder, and filler from Ometempe, Condega, and Esteli. So just as an interesting side note, he blended this with his father, Ismail, and so I don't know much about AJ Fernandez or his father. Coop, maybe you could chime in on this. Is his father in the tobacco business as well?
His father worked for Plasencia for about 17 years. He retired from Plasencia, and he just came over to work with AJ. So he has been in the business.
So that makes sense. I thought this cigar was really quite good, actually. It had like a nice sweetness and a slight spice. The undertones were a slight chocolatey coffee, those rich type flavors, mixed with that, the sweetness and spice that I had said earlier. The construction on it was great. I thought it was a really well balanced, medium bodied cigar.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And I would say this is worth a box split, in my opinion, for sure.
I'm going to come out and say this. This may be a little kind of a bold statement. The value price of that cigar, I think that was the best cigar at the show at that price.
That was my feeling too.
The price is awesome.
I'm telling you.
I was kind of wondering where price fits into our equation. We've talked about it in the past. We haven't talked about it in a while. I'm going to talk about one where price really heavily weighed in my opinion.
Well,
of the cigar,
I smoked 3 Vitolas on each size. The one I liked the most is the Toro. And the one that surprised me was a 660. Was a 58.
And the price kind of weighed in on that.
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that cigar. That it still had. It wasn't. I thought the taste that Toro is the best. As Mark's saying, the bell of the ball.
Yeah, absolutely.
I really love that Toro. And I'm telling you right now, we're blowing through these things like crazy. This is
it's gonna be a monster selling hit.
How's this? I do some wholesaling accounts. I'm telling everybody from New Hampshire, Maine, Connecticut, New York, call Brad Sider. I'm telling you, this cigar is on fire. It's really something special. For that kind of, at our price point, because of our taxes, I think the most expensive stick is $6.50.
You're still pretty much right in the ballpark.
Yeah,
So.
Do you agree with that, Coop? Price wise, at the show, am I going over the top of that?
No. I'm totally in agreement. It was actually one of the better cigars I had at the show. When I had it after the show, I really appreciated it because your palate is a little shot at the show.
Right.
It's a great cigar, and it's one you'll really appreciate when you have it on a clean palate.
I did that first thing in the morning, right? Yeah, which I found
it's got a little bit of kick for a morning cigar, but it's not gonna knock you down.
No, what happened was when I did it in the morning, and then when I did it in the afternoon, total different experience by far.
Yeah.
Dead on medium. It's medium going towards the fuller side in the morning. And Brad came up to me, I think it was either Friday or Saturday. It makes no difference of the day. Mark, try this on a clean palate. I think you're going to be really happy with this. And he was dead on. Kudos to AJ Fernandez.
I can't wait to try it.
Oh, I'm telling
yeah,
you.
I think you'll like it.
I know he's going to like it.
If you were to put a score over price ratio, it's going to be very high. That's kind of how I
Very
look.
high.
And
Very
I'm going to
high.
say, I'm going to say with the Toro, box worthy.
Yeah, me too. That's what I said last
Yep.
week.
Oh, yep, box worthy. Because you amped me up, pushed towards that because of your rating. Not just your rating, because of the size. I'm not saying the Robustos aren't good, but I'm finding the Toro size on some cigars are really performing better than others. It's really.
Will,
we
back
just talked about that, Mark.
Yep. Remember me? Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I've been going on a Toro kick recently, and I'm like a notorious Robusto
Yeah.
guy.
And one last thing, if we get to Coop, maybe Friday, no later than Monday, we'll have the Joel Sherman, and I can't wait. I tell you,
Just,
you guys
yeah.
are going to be so.
We'll be making
what
an
the
order.
hell are you doing?
you never you light the leaf on fire and then you kind of sniff it.
That's okay.
Kind of take a aroma. This is actually
I know a rumor.
the Debonair Toro. The cap that came off it. There's actually some tobacco that was able to peel off the cap. It's got very very nice aroma to
nice. Yeah. Yep. That's even better. Chew it.
it. Really, eat it.
Yeah.
All right, I'll try that while Will's talking about his next
Seriously.
cigar.
Okay, it's kind of funny. We were just talking about going to Toros, but this one's interesting. So, the Tatuai Jason, which is one of the pudgy monsters. It's the pudgy blend, or the pudgy size of the JV13, which is so this one's a 5.5 by 52. So it is about a Robusto Extra. It's a Connecticut broadleaf wrapper of a Nicaraguan binder and filler. Here's what I'll say about this. I wasn't a big fan of the JV13. I think people know that. I think I've said it on the show, and I know Mark Jr. liked that. He actually liked that cigar a lot. And I give him credit because whatever I didn't get in the JV13, I could see what Pete was maybe doing with this blend. The Jason is I know it's a shorter cigar, but for whatever reason, this cigar was much more consistent. I smoked a few of these now, and I was real impressed with this cigar. I found it to be smoother and sweeter than the original JV13. Any of the mustiness and harshness I had on that, I wasn't getting on these. I got notes of mocha, black pepper. I got this almost like raisinette candy taste, so the chocolate-covered raisin taste. That's what I was getting off this cigar. The flavors were great. They were full-bodied. The strength is like medium to full, so it just had enough kick to it in my book. I can't say if this cigar is aged better. Maybe this was aged better. I can't say if the shorter size did it. All I can say is the JB13 was a try one. This is a box split in my book. I could see with this blend, what Mark Jr. was talking about with this blend. It was really good. One of the biggest surprises of the year I've had with this cigar.
I smoked an Asylum 13, the Ogre 550. This is a Robusto size in the Asylum 13 Ogre line, which has that really cool-looking cigar, right? It's that Habano and Candela wrapper in a barber pole. On the flavor side, I thought it was extremely enjoyable. Nice notes of wood and so that raw sugar sweetness in the background. I liked it. I'd probably buy 10 if there was like a rating for that. I might actually buy 10 of these. I thought it was good.
Really?
Yeah. As 5 might go too fast. I'm gonna stick with my 5 rating, but I was impressed by this cigar. It was really enjoyable, kind of good everyday smoke. It's kind of, it's weird to have that barber pole, like it looks kind of flashy, like you're showing off kind of thing, but it delivered in the flavor department enough for a 5 rating for sure. Have you guys smoked this?
Yeah, I'm gonna say something nutty on this, okay? I thought it was better in the 70 ring gauge than the 50.
Really?
And here's why. I think on that 50, you got more of the Candela on it, where I think on the 70, you got more of that Habano wrapper for whatever reason. It just tasted. I mean, I just had a little more. It had a little more boldness. The 70. I mean, I'm not saying I liked smoking the big ring gauge, but I thought the flavors were just a little better. And I think it may have to do with the fact that the 70 was the original, was what that blend was originally intended for. But I agree with you, Paul. It's about a 5. It's not a bad cigar. It's definitely an interesting and entertaining cigar to have.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Okay.
But I'd be curious if you tried, like, this. They know they have a 60. I'm kind of curious what you'd think on those. I'm not saying try to 70, but I'm kind of curious to see what your thoughts would be with that. I was surprised. I liked the bigger one better.
Over to you.
I'm all set.
You good? Mark Jr.?
I smoked the new Letelier special Selection Special, the Bellicoso. So this is a line extension with the Lancero off of the Lat 46 SS from last year. This is a 6 1/8 by 52 torpedo. It's the same blend as that 46, so it's the higher priming of the Ecuadorian Sancti Spiritus wrapper, binder and filler Nicaraguan. I thought this was pretty consistent with the Corona Gorda in terms of flavors, the earth, the spice. It has a nice sweetness to it. But I will say that I did find it to be a little bit amped down, which I didn't enjoy in this one. So that being said, I would say this is a 5er as opposed to the other one's box worthy because of that. But it was solid construction. The flavors were nice. If you're a torpedo guy, I think you'll like it a lot.
Will, over to you.
I smoked the new La Serena, the Oceano, which is the one that Ariel, when we interviewed her, she was mentioning that there was going to be a cigar made of Casada, and this is the cigar. It was released at IPCPR. It's a mostly Dominican cigar. It's got Dominican HVA wrapper, Dominican Criollo binder, and a mix of Dominican Criollo Visos and Ligeros with a little Nicaraguan Viso. The Indian is named for the Indian Ocean. Each of the sizes of Vitolas are named for an ocean. The price point is about $9.50. Ariel mentioned it was a stronger star in the portfolio. I'd agree. It's definitely got a lot of strengths for a Dominican cigar. Definitely full strengths. I got some flavors of chocolate, earth, and pepper. I didn't find it to be overly complex. I did find this cigar had a little more emphasis on the strengths, but it wasn't totally off balance, but it was definitely a little off balance with that. It was still an enjoyable smoke if you wanted a little something a little more pop to it. I want to see what this is going to do over time, if it's going to mellow a bit. It kind of reminded me, I don't want to say a Viaje-esque because it is a different smoke, but it did have more of that strength, like I said. I'm going to put it at a 5er right now. I want to see. It could go either way. I probably at least stay at a 5er, most likely, but if the strength comes down, maybe I'll see what difference it makes, but 5er.
Cool. I smoked a Casa Fuente Corona Gorda. The past few times I visited Casa Fuente, excuse me, they were actually out of this size. The most recent time, a couple of weeks ago when I visited there, they had this size in stock. This is a 5 5/8 by 46. Carries a price tag of $18. I smoked several different sizes of the Casa Fuente blend, both in the Cameroon wrapper, which was this one with the orange band on the foot, and the Rosado, I believe, with the yellow band on the foot. Some were awesome, some were just okay. This Corona with the orange band is the Cameroon wrapper, which we'll talk about a lot more in the next segment. Supposedly uses a tweaked Opus X binder and filler. It's a solid medium in the strength department, and the flavors are really just outstanding. I mean, this is what this cigar is all about, is presenting those flavors. I mean, I think both from the wrapper, of course, but the binder and filler, like the whole experience was really, really good. You can kind of pick out those flavors of sweetness from that Cameroon wrapper and that little bit of spice. Whatever they're putting in the binder and filler complements that tremendously. Enough to carry an $18 price tag? Perhaps not. If this stick could come out for maybe half that, I'd probably buy a box or two. At that price tag, even a 5er is really tough. If I were to rate this cigar on its own merit, leaving price completely out, I mean, I'd give Chuck Norris a run for his money for this cigar. This cigar is awesome, awesome. Mm-hmm. The price tag, though, it's not something I can really recommend our listeners go, fly to Las Vegas and go buy them at the store, which is really the only way to obtain them unless you're trading on a forum, or I have one Corona left in my collection, which I don't think I'm going to part with. I kind of want to see what that one's going to do with age. I did smoke a Casa Fuente blend double Corona, which in preparation for our Cameroon segment, I wanted to smoke that. I have to tell you, that one's got a year of age in my humidor on it, and it was pretty fantastic. But the flavor concentration that you get from this Corona in this blend is absolutely unbelievable. I was blown away, and like I said, it's a fight Chuck Norris on its own merit if you take price off the table. Have any of you guys tried this blend?
Which one was
The
that?
Casa Fuente blend?
Oh yeah. I just
Very
gave.
good cigar.
I just gave. Yep, excellent. I just gave one to Nick.
Yeah, they're
Yeah, they're
fantastic
really
cigar.
good. Absolutely. I'm sorry.
Well, no. So is this the same as this? Isn't the Casa Cuba?
Oh, I'm sorry. I got.
Yeah, Casa Cuba is
I'm
yeah.
emailing somebody.
I got a Casa Cuba in a little Corona.
Right,
size.
a little
I was thinking,
Corona.
yeah, that's not a
That cigar is really improving the Casa Cuba.
That's not a Cameroon wrapper, though, right?
No, I don't believe so. I
Yeah,
think it's
I think-
Dominican all the way.
I think one of the things that really makes this Casa Fuente blend special is that Cameroon wrapper. And they say it's a tweaked Opus blend. I don't find many of the same characteristics between the Casa Fuente blend and Opus X.
That's pretty tweaked if it has a Cameroon wrapper.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like the wrapper, like I don't know.
Oh, the Casa Cuba is Ecuadorian wrapper.
Yeah, Casa Cuba is totally different.
Hold on, I'm not sure if you read this.
Alrighty, Will, back to you.
Okay, one more I got. Camacho Liberty 2014. So this is the latest
interesting. Why don't you hear what
Liberty.
you have to say about that? Yeah.
Once again, it's in the 1118 Figurado format. It's got a Habano Ecuador wrapper from 2005 vintage. It's got a Corojo 2006 binder, and it's got Nicaraguan and Dominican filler. So this is, if folks are familiar with the Liberty, I think most of our listeners are. Every year Camacho releases them. They put them into coffin boxes, and they usually run about 40,000. The past few years, I've been pretty. There hasn't been a really Liberty that stood out for quite a while. I think you're going back at least 4 or 5 years. This one, I can't say it had. Again, I don't think it had a lot of wow factor. It had a little more than in terms of when I compare it to the Angel's Anvil earlier on. It had some notes of earth. It had a little bit of a chocolate note, a little bit of cedar and pepper. The interesting thing about this cigar, and I think what made it enjoyable enough for me was there was a graham cracker sweetness I got in the middle of this cigar that I really enjoyed. It was a little bit of a different sweetness, and it really made it enjoyable. I kind of wish it was more consistent throughout it. It was enough to lift it to a 5 in my book. I don't think it would go any higher. I kind of am waiting for that one Liberty to come and just be like the one I want to just get a whole bunch of and store away for 4 or 5 years. And I haven't seen one of those come out in a while.
Yeah,
And this
since
has
like
$17 price
since
point.
like
It's not cheap.
2007 or 2008.
Yeah, I mean, you're going back a while. And those are ones you just wanted to really keep in your humidor and
They were
take
special.
out for a special occasion. I haven't seen one in a while with that.
I agree. I agree with that assessment.
Yeah.
Excuse me for being a little.
But
Go ahead.
every year I'm going to smoke a Liberty. It doesn't matter, 'cause I know eventually there'll be one that's going to be like that. So I'm going to get it every year.
Yeah, we just got a couple of emails from
Dave.
Australia from Dave and from just saying listen to the show and loving our work. So I just want to give a little yell out. Thank you for chiming in.
Thank you, Dave, for all the support.
Oh, absolutely.
I hope your cigars came, Dave. I've sent them like 2.5 weeks ago.
Yeah, I got to wait for the Opus A to come in, and we'll take that for them.
Oh, I have one of those right here actually.
Oh.
Funny you say that. This is an Opus A cigar. It's really big.
Huge.
Well, wait a minute. What are we looking at?
Oh, the cigar.
The cigar. I'm looking down, so.
Yeah, please don't
Mine's
confuse
not in the
my
box.
petite Corona with the A. Mark
Well, we
Jr.
certainly weren't talking about what you were looking down at.
Yeah.
Hey,
seriously.
hey, Mark, I'll give you 3 guesses when I'm smoking.
Aquitaine Mode 5.
No.
That's a good guess, though.
I know. I already smoked about 3 or 4 of those in the last
Today.
day. What do we do a box split with? The MK, the original MK.
Oh, yeah.
Oh God, these things. Look at this. Oh,
Good?
I have, a bag of them right here.
oh, that's something
We have
special.
problems. Mark Jr., back to you.
So to go along with that Toro kick, I smoked the Toro actually this afternoon of the new My Father Connecticut edition.
Yeah.
So that one is a 6.5 by 54, pretty standard Toro. The blend, again, is Ecuadorian Connecticut wrapper, binders Nicaraguan Corojo 99, and the fillers are Habano and Criollo from Nicaragua as well. I thought this was as good of a smoke as the Corona Gorda, but very different. It was a lot more toned down, and that creaminess that you would expect from a Connecticut wrapper really came through a little bit more on this. It had more of a cedar flavor to it. The spice was toned down, but was still there. I think, Paul, this one you would like better than the Corona, man.
Yeah, because it's a little more toned down. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot more toned down, as a matter of fact. I would give it the same rating as I would the Corona Gorda of box split or Boxworthy, but I would treat them differently.
No, that's a great assessment, actually. I gotta try that. Yeah, I'm gonna try that in the Toro.
I think you'll like it better. I want to hear what you have to say.
I still think the Corona Gorda, I think Paul will like that in the afternoon. I think that cigar.
Yeah, it's really amped up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a Debonair Saguita Maduro.
Saguita.
Oh, I go back and forth as to which one's my favorite. I really do. I'm really loving the new Maduro blend, and I love his original blend. It's so hard not to like these. I mean, this is full flavor. This Saguita is full flavored. Awesome smoking experience. I think it's another winner. It's a box-worthy cigar, in my opinion. It doesn't have as strong as those floral notes, but it smokes awesome. And I'm smoking the Toro now, actually, from Debonair.
So what do you think?
And I've had the Torpedo. The Toro's awesome too. I'm loving everything about it. I mean, they're so great to smoke. Really, any time of the day. Maybe not the morning, right? But afternoon on. I mean, I'd reach for these all the time. That's the problem I have with Debonair is I want to have boxes of those on hand to smoke really at any time, and the Saguita is no exception to that.
Agreed. Now, Coop, out of all the Maduros that you smoked out of Debonair, which one right now is smoking best for you?
The Toro. I haven't smoked the Belly yet, but the Toro is definitely the best.
I agree.
Yep.
I'm smoking it now.
The Saguita was very good too, but the Toro's got the edge right now.
Yeah, I'm kind of leaning towards that way too, guys. To be honest with you, I mean, this Toro. After I've smoked a lot of cigars today.
Again, you got to remember, the ones that I've gone through with the naturals, the Habanos, they have a little more time and age on them, so we don't
know yet. Exactly. It's a great point. It's a great point. You don't know. See what happens.
Will, do you have more smokes?
I don't have more. I just want to give a thank you to Michael Waldron, who said he's listening to Stogie Geeks on Facebook. I very appreciate it. So thank you, Michael.
Yeah, that's one of my customers at the store. Mike is. You talk about the pedal to the metal. Mike came in and was just. I haven't tried different smokes, and he's became a cigar geek very quickly, becoming very knowledgeable, very quick. A great listener and a fun person.
Thank you. Yeah.
I smoked the Edgar Hoyle EH Cultura. This is kind of a weird kind of shaped cigar. It's kind of like a box pressed torpedo, 4.5 by 38 by 54. They come in 10-count boxes for price of $9. It's a nice size cigar. The perfecto-ish size makes a nice transition. In the end, it really wasn't in my wheelhouse. Give it a try. I'd rate it at 2.5. Try one. I smoked the Diamond Crowned Black Diamond. This one's very interesting. Will has a write-up on his site. This is the Connecticut Broadleaf with Dominican binder and filler. This one comes from the Toast Across America Torpedo, which is 6.5 by 52, which is exclusive to a sampler pack, which comes in a two cigars in a coffin box, 2013 Toast Across America. The other stick that it comes with is the same size at 6.5 by 52. It comes with an Arturo Fuente, Don Arturo Anniversario, Destino Alsiglio Torpedo. That's a mouthful.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't smoked that one yet. But the Black Diamond from Diamond Crown, I did get some notes of cedar and sweetness in the background, but there was this predominant, like, burnt toast flavor or some kind of burnt.
Wait a minute. Burnt toast?
It was like
I'm sorry. It's like, someone with the PG was like, tastes like a pencil eraser.
Yeah.
Burnt toast? I mean, maybe
it was almost like, when they cook your hamburger or your steak too long and you get that burnt flavor.
Yeah, all right.
You know what I mean?
All right, I got
That's exactly. It was more like probably burnt meat flavor for me, but that just was not in my. How some people like their steak to be like a little burnt, and they like that flavor. I don't like that flavor, but that was a flavor I got from this cigar.
That's fair enough.
It was interesting because it's a very, very dark wrapper, but it was still a very kind of mild cigar, but had that really, burnt Maduro flavor to it. And for $25, it has to be in your wheelhouse to really want one of these cigars. Your $50 for the Coffin of Two goes towards the Cigar Family Charity Foundation.
Right.
And it's interesting. I mean, try one. Like I said, if you like your steak like really well done and your burger with that burnt flavor, you're probably going to like the cigar.
I look at that wrapper and made me think of something. Now, the God of Fire, the sample that you got, have you gone through that at all?
Oh, yeah.
Now, you said you liked the Robusto. What do you think of the Toro?
I thought it was really good. I
Wasn't
still
it?
like the Robusto better, but I tell you what, some of those other sizes I think have benefited from a little additional age on them for whatever reason. And those larger sizes are smoking awesome now. They're smoking awesome.
Pricey, but very good.
Very, very good cigar. Yeah. Mark Jr., you got anything left on your list? Oh, Mark Jr.'s talking, but we can't hear him.
He's got the hat off. He's all serious now.
He's serious. Serious business now. Hat's coming off. The mic is muted.
I said I have one more cigar, but I'm not. I'm going to keep it to myself. I don't have a lot of very nice things to say about it. So.
Oh, come on. We got to have something.
All right. I smoked a 2008 La Verte Robusto.
Yeah.
On recommendation of somebody that was in the shop the other day, and I thought it was horrible.
Really?
Yeah.
I've had a lot of the Robusto, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had more construction. I mean, Pete. I've had construction problems with that cigar.
Yeah.
Both
sizes.
I will not say
both
that about
sizes.
a lot of things that Pete makes, but that cigar was horrible. I thought it was bitter. I thought it had a void in it. I don't know, man. It's just no good. No good.
I didn't think it was bad, but it was every time I've smoked that, it's been a struggle.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been a fight. I just don't want to fight it for that price anymore.
Yeah.
You don't want to fight a cigar.
That person loves it. Came in the shop.
We'll fight Chuck Norris, but we won't fight with cigars.
No.
Oh, no, exactly.
I ain't got time. Not my age. I don't fight with anything.
We're going to try and do this segment in what little time we have left allotted for the show. So we're going to take a short break, come back, and talk about Cameroons. So don't go anywhere.
Wounds?
Camel wounds.
I got a camel wounds.